Our DIY for fall, we're going to start out with a crow, and we're going to make it a shelf sitter. So I've just got a scrap piece of cut off of 2x4. You can use some from Dollar Tree, a square, or whichever you like. I've got my paint markers of orange, black, and white, a little bit of fabric, as well as some black paint. And we're going to sand this, get it a little bit smooth. We're going to make us a crow. My block is painted black all about, and this part's not going to be seen, but I first want to draw a face. So basically I'm just going to create me 2 round circles. Just create 2 round circles. They do not have to be even because it's a crow, and they're kind of going to remind you of the magpie if any of you used to watch the cartoons like I did growing up. So I got my eyes painted on, and they're dry. But before I go any further, I want to scruffy up my block. Next, I'm going to take my black marker, and I'm just going to put a dot there. As I said, you don't want them neat because it is a crow, so we want it to look prim. I'm going to take my orange, and I think this marker might just do it. Now, the way you want to do it is you want to make it like a triangle shape. And you can make it long or small, and then we're just going to color that in. Now I want to put like some dashes up here for his eyebrows. And that is it for his face. I have a piece of fabric here, and this is just a fat quarter that I've got. My nose is still wet on my crow, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and put this fabric as a hat. And I just want to kind of get a measure here of how far around I need to go and cut that off. As long as I want it. So you have to kind of decide how tall you want his hat, and bear in mind that you're going to be tying it. So I'm going to cut it right here, give it that look. I'm going to tear it. I love how well that frays. I think I want to bring it down a little bit so I can flip this up on his hat. I think it just looked really neat being flipped up. Kind of get that messy look, and I'm just going to put enough glue there to hold that down. Make it really thin. I can go about putting his hat on and put that seam in the back. That way I can kind of judge it based on how it's going around there. Just need a small amount. I want it just above his eyebrows. Go ahead and glue up this small seam right here. At least half the distance of his block, or double the distance of his block. Glued the back here, and I took a little more off of the top. It's just a little too much. I have my orange fabric here, and I'm going to take and tear a strip off of this to tie around his hat. That'll make it look really neat. So just tear that. I know I won't need all that. Just gather it up right here. See how that looks. Looking super cute, okay? Cut these tails off. I'm going to use my coffee grunge. You'll find the recipe in the description box down below. And I can just mist that on there. You don't need a whole lot. And I can speed dry this pretty quick. Don't want that to look blank back there. Kind of massage it in a little bit. And they'll give it a little bit of stiffness. And also this will be a little bit sticky. Coffee is always sticky, the coffee grunge. And it just takes a little bit of water to wipe it off, or maybe when you handy wipes. Dry this off with my heating gun. He's looking pretty good. and he's just about dry. I've got me some craft paper that's pulled off of my corrugated cardboard. That's why it has this deep dark color. I'm just going to make him a small tag here. I'm going to use my black Sharpie marker to create crow on this tag. Just going to write it out real quick. That looks pretty good. Now we can put us a hole in there, tie some twine on it. I'm going to put my hole in it before I crunch it up or do anything else to it. It's just fine. Soften it up a little bit. Looking really, really neat. I do have my distressing stamp. Let's see how well that does. Kind of hit the top of it and the edges. Always looks good. Let me do the back side. Well, it looks good. Put in some jute twine through his tag. I always use extra jute because I like it to dangle. So I always use that little bit of extra. I like those tails hanging out. I don't try to make the tag tails even. So I am going to do it just like a price tag. I'm going to run it through here. Now to improve on his hat, I'm actually going to take and snip and tear it because it just doesn't look right to me. I'm still not suited with it. I like it having those little tails there. It looks pretty good. And that way I can trim this down too. If it's trimmed down some. Let's do that real quick. I like this even better. So let me try and cut these off. Because you don't want them even. You want them kind of ragtagged. Give it that look. There we go. I like that so much better. It just looks fantastic. Crow would have a little crazy hair. Not going any certain place, just kind of everywhere. Seems to look better than the wide tears that I was doing. So let me fix this one up. Oh, that looks fantastic. Big improvement. That looks great. Now we got all those tears going on and cut that hat down a bit. That's a big improvement. It looks so much better. I really, really like it. Got his crow out here. So there we have completed that. If you like this project, give it a thumbs up and share it with someone that you know would enjoy a DIY craft and making themselves their own shelf setter crow with primitive style for fall decor. Till the next DIY, this is Elizabeth, and I'll be back.